Why good people become cold. Some people are not born cold. They were once warm. They were once kind. They used to care deeply. They used to reply quickly. They used to forgive easily. They used to give their time, their energy, and their heart without thinking twice. They believed that if they treated people with kindness, kindness would come back to them. But life does not always work that way. Sometimes, the people with the softest hearts meet people who do not know how to handle softness. They meet people who take their kindness for granted. They meet people who only come close when they need something. They meet people who disappear when it is time to give back. And slowly, something inside them begins to change. Not because they want to become cold, but because staying warm started to hurt too much. Good people become cold when they get tired of being the only one who cares. At first, they try harder. They think maybe they are not patient enough. Maybe they did not explain themselves clearly. So they forgive again. They understand. They wait. They give one more chance, then another. But every time they forgive without healing, a small part of their heart becomes quieter. They stop expecting an apology. They stop waiting for people to notice their pain. They stop explaining why something hurt them. Because some people do not listen to understand. They only listen to defend themselves. So the good person begins to change. They no longer talk as much. They no longer open up easily. They no longer share their feelings with everyone. And people look at them and say, "You changed." But they do not see what caused the change. They do not see the nights when that person cried alone. They do not see how many times they were disappointed. They do not see how many times they smiled while breaking inside. They only see the silence after the damage is done. A good person becomes cold when they realize their kindness was being used. There is a difference between being loved and being needed. Some people only need your support, your attention, your forgiveness, and your calm energy. They do not love you in the same way you love them. They love what you do for them. And when a good person finally sees this, it hurts deeply. Because they were not helping to get something back. They were helping because they cared. But even a caring heart gets tired when it is never cared for. Even a strong person gets tired of being strong alone. Even a kind soul gets tired of being treated like a place people visit only when they are broken. So they begin to protect themselves. They stop saying yes so easily. They stop answering every call. They stop running to fix everyone's problems. They stop giving access to people who only bring pain. And to others, this looks cold. But to them, it feels like survival. Good people become cold when their trust is broken too many times. Trust is not lost in one moment. It is lost slowly, one repeated disappointment at a time. It is lost when someone says they will change, but repeats the same behavior. It is lost when someone promises to be there, but disappears. It is lost when someone uses your secrets against you. It is lost when someone makes you feel guilty for having feelings. It is lost when someone hurts you, then acts like your reaction is the problem. At first, a good person tries to believe the best. They tell themselves, maybe they did not mean it. But pain repeated too many times becomes a lesson. And once the lesson is learned, the heart becomes careful. That careful heart may look cold, but it is only tired of being fooled. So it starts locking the door, not because it hates everyone, but because not everyone deserves to come in. Good people become cold when they are forced to become their own protection. For a long time, they protected everyone else's feelings. They said it is okay when it was not okay. They swallowed their pain because they did not want conflict. But every feeling that is swallowed does not disappear. It becomes heaviness. It becomes distance. It becomes silence. It becomes a wall. And one day, the good person realizes they are exhausted from protecting everyone except themselves. That is the moment they change. They stop being available for everything. They stop explaining boundaries to people who already crossed them. They stop chasing people who are comfortable losing them. They stop begging to be treated with basic respect. And this is where the coldness begins. But it is not cruelty, hatred, or revenge. It is a boundary built after too much pain. Sometimes coldness is just a heart saying, I cannot let you hurt me like that again. Good people become cold when they learn that love without boundaries can destroy them. Many good people believe love means giving everything. They believe love means being patient all the time. They believe love means forgiving every mistake. They believe love means staying, even when staying hurts. But real love should not require you to abandon yourself. Real love should not make you feel small. Real love should not make you lose sleep every night. Real love should not make you question your worth. When they finally understand, they become quieter, more selective, more careful, and more private. They start watching actions more than words. They stop trusting beautiful promises without changed behavior. To some people, this looks cold, but it is actually wisdom. It is the wisdom of someone who finally learned that a good heart still needs protection. Good people become cold when nobody notices how much they are hurting. They suffer quietly because they do not want to bother anyone. And because they still look okay, people assume they are okay. But inside, their joy becomes smaller, their energy becomes lower, and their heart becomes heavier. They are seen as useful, strong, calm, and kind, but not always seen as human. And when a person feels unseen for too long, they stop trying to be understood. They choose peace over being liked. And the moment a good person stops begging to be understood, they become free. They may look colder, but inside, they are calmer. Good people become cold when they finally understand their worth. They realize they can be good and still walk away. They can forgive and still not return. They can care and still create distance. A good heart does not have to stay cold forever. The goal is to become kind with boundaries, soft but not weak. Stay good, stay kind, but never again give your warmth to people who only leave you cold.